right, just reviewing real quickly in 4-7 notes. More solving similar triangles, guys. Remember, this should be the key to everything, right? That statement tells you everything. In the last section, you were working to get that statement, right? You were saying, are the triangles similar? That statement right there says triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ, which means flat out, you can go right to the work, okay? However, let's just say that if it's helpful to you, go ahead and mark equal angles. Okay, so we'll just make that note. So mark equal angles. In the pictures, if it's helpful to you. Do whatever is going to help you be successful. Okay, so remember, first letter goes with first letter. So that tells you angle A and X are the same. So whatever symbol you want to use for A and X, notice they're not in the same spot. Doesn't matter. One of the triangles is flipped around. Okay, likewise, B would equal Y because they're both in the middle. Okay, so whatever symbol you want to use, I'll just use a single mark for B and for Y. And last but not least, the third one would go with the third one. Okay, so C and Z would go together. So I'll just use 2 marks for C and likewise for Z. All right, put that in the picture if that's helpful. But again, like I say, guys, that statement up there, triangle ABC is similar to XYZ, is all I'm going from. Okay, so again, I'm saying I know from that statement that the first 2 letters, AB, side AB, over the first 2 letters, XY, go with the second set of letters, so second and third, BC over YZ, cross that Z, and the first and third, AC, go with the first and third, XZ. Okay, I can pull those numbers, the labels off of the sides from the pictures. So if you want to go ahead of me, turn it off and try this yourself, that'd be great. So 2x over x plus y should be 11 over 3y plus 9. And 12 over 18. All right, so thinking smart. 3 fractions. I'm going to go with the first one, since it has all x's, with the last one that has all numbers. And if I cross multiply, 18 times 2x is 36x. Again, if you can distribute without writing this step, then go for it. But if you can't, then write it. Okay, so that'd be 12x plus 12 times 8 is 96. Okay, subtract 12x from both sides, I would have 24x equals 96. Divide by 24, and x will equal 4. Okay, now I'll go back and use the second fraction, the 11 over the 3y plus 9, with the third one that's all numbers, and that'll give me the y's. So again, if I do 12 times 3y plus 9, if you can distribute that without writing it, go for it at this point. 11 times 18 is 198. So I'm looking at 36y plus 108, 12 times 9, equals 198. All right, so if I subtract 108 from both sides, 36y would give me 90, and y will equal, well, 90 over 36 reduces to 5/2. Okay, but let's practice with that. What if you can't do it that quickly? Let's practice some reducing, and maybe some reducing techniques or tricks that you may or may not remember. So up above, if we had divided by 36, let's just say that we knew it was 90 over 36. Okay, so the first thing you should be looking at is that those are both even numbers. Okay, that might be where you start. If they're even numbers, you know they're divisible by at least 2. So if you divide by 2, This would turn into 45. This would turn into 18. Okay, now you have to keep reducing. Ask yourself if those are even, and they are not. They don't reduce by 2. So maybe I want a different trick. The next thing I check for, guys, I look at the 3 rule. And I don't know if you know what that is, but what that means is if you take the sum of these two numbers, right, like 4 and 5, 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3. That means 45 is divisible by 3. Okay, same thing for 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3. That means 18 is divisible by 3. Okay, so that 3 rule is a nice trick to have in your back pocket. All right, so let's reduce them both by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Again, I got to ask myself again, does anything go into both of those? And notice, you should notice both of them are divisible by 3. So reduce by 3 again, you will get the 5 halves that we had put up there. Okay, so you don't have to do it all at once, guys, or in your head. You should also be practicing that without a calculator. Okay, so it would come up. Now, good questions usually come up here. And some people want to know, could I have taken this 12 over 18, which I used here and here, and had pretty big numbers, but it's okay, you have a calculator. Could I have reduced that to begin with, and would I get the same answers? Okay, we'll take a guess. How do you think the math works? Okay, if they're equal, could you reduce? Could you reduce the 12/18 to, what would you reduce it to? Reduced by 6 would give us what, 2/3 before starting? All right, so whatever you're guessing, let's try it. Okay, so I'm going to do the same work I did above, except I'm going to take the 2x over the x plus 8, and I'm going to set it equal to 2/3 instead of 12/18. Okay, I like that I'm just going to have smaller numbers. So 2x times 3 is 6x. 2 distributed to x plus 8 would give me 2x plus 16. Subtract 2x on both sides to give me 4x equals 16. If I divide by 4, x will be 4. Okay, same thing. If I take the 11 over the 3y plus 9 equals 2/3 instead of the 12/18 we had. 2 times the 3y plus 9 would be 6y plus 18, just nice smaller numbers. 3 times 11 is 33. So 6y would equal, if I subtract 18 from both sides, 15. Notice this one won't be as hard to reduce, right? 15 over 6 is just 5 halves. So there are advantages to simplifying at the start. If you notice, based on those two answers being the same, you should be able to answer this and tell me, could you reduce before starting? And that is a big, definite yes. The only caution, if you reduce that 12/18 wrong in the first place, you guarantee both of them to be wrong. So be super careful with your reducing, please. Okay? See what you can do.